Regarded as an icon by so many, Maya Angelou is an American-born singer, poet, author and civil rights activist. She was one of the first African-American female members in the Directors Guild of America and also worked with popular human rights activists Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. Marguerite Annie Johnson is fondly known as Maya Angelou. The name Maya was given to her since childhood and is rumoured to have been given to her by her brother, who often called her Maya sister. Angelou, the surname, was taken from her ex-husband, Tost Angelou. So, Maya Angelou, she was born on the 4th of April 1928 in St. Louis, Missouri, and many would agree that Angelou did not have a desirable childhood. Her parents, Bailey Johnson and Vivian Johnson, they were divorced after an unstable marriage, and young Angelou and her siblings were sent to live with her grandmother in Stamps, Arkansas for a while. And this arrangement lasted for about 4 years before her father returned them to their mother, where things actually got worse because Maya's mother's boyfriend was actually sexually assaulting her. And Maya told her brothers and he was jailed. And on his release, he was beaten to death. So, due to this ordeal, Angelou became mute for many years, believing that her voice killed him, and her period of silence only encouraged her to explore other options that did not involve speaking, and she continually developed her writing skills, reading and listening. And during this period, Angela got very close to Mrs. Bertha Flowers, a friend of the family who encouraged her by giving her books and much needed emotional support. Eventually, with the help of Mrs. Flowers, Angela was able to start speaking again. So, Angela kept shuffling between staying with her mother and her grandmother. And when she was 14, she went to her grandmother's again, but this time in Oakland, where she attended California Labor School. And being very ambitious, even at a young age, she was able to become the first black female cable car conductor in San Francisco, and this was her lift into the labor industry. After that, she did different jobs, including being a fry cook and even a sex worker. And in time, the multi-talented Angelou began her singing and acting career, and this was in the mid-1950s when she featured in the production of Porgy and Bess, and it was quickly followed by Calypso Heatwave in 1957. And then she went a step further by releasing Miss Calypso, which was her first solo album in the same year. And in her diverse career, she published several books right up until her death. Most notable ones include I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings and Still I Rise. Her works gained so much popularity, she became very famous, which allowed her to travel to different cities within America and internationally, and it also afforded her the opportunity to meet key figures such as Julia Mayfield, John Oliver Killens and Rosa Guy. Travelling around the world eventually took her to Africa in the 1960s, where she spent most of her time in Egypt and Ghana. In Ghana, she worked as a freelancer and an administrator at the University of Ghana while still growing in her music career. And it was in Ghana that she actually met Malcolm X, where he asked her to join him in establishing the Organisation of Afro-American Unity, which was an organisation founded in 1964 and geared towards fighting for African Americans' rights and the promotion of unity among Africans in diaspora and people in African descent. However, shortly after Malcolm X was murdered, her role in the activism scene was paused for a while. Angelou was devastated by the occurrence and decided to go back and pursue her personal career. Martin Luther King Jr. was able to convince her to join activism again, and he asked Angelou to organise a march, but he was also murdered shortly after this. Both murders of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. led her into depression, but somehow she awakened more of her creative genius. And in the same year, she produced Black's Blues Black, a series of a documentary that showcased the connection between black Americans and blues music. And during the latter part of her life, she featured in the election campaign supporting Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama in the 2008 elections. On May 28, 2014, the world received shocking news about the death of Maya Angelou. She had died due to poor health conditions. Her memorial service was held at the Wake Forest University, and it was attended by very prominent figures, including Barack Obama, Alicia Keys, Bill Clinton, and Oprah Winfrey. Not my kind of people, but it shows that Maya had made it to the major league. And in the wake of her death, she also received thousands of tributes, and condolences were sent to her family by stars and people from all around the globe. So, Angela's life and career, in its totality, was a substance that dreams are made of. It featured several awards, notably Chicago International Film Festival's Audience Choice Award, 2 NAACP Image Awards in the Outstanding Literary Work for Non-Fiction category, and in addition to this, she was awarded over 50 honorary degrees. An amazing woman that overcame diversity at a very, very early age, and she took it upon herself to inform and educate people. R.I.P. Maya Angelou. I'm the OBG.
OBG. Mm-hmm.